How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another show. This is You Made Roscoe, and I am Roscoe. And on today's show, I got my partner in crime again. I got Sale in the building. What up, my dude?
What's happening?
Ain't nothing. Today, me and Sale, we gonna take a look at a video that's called Dennis Rodman's Lockdown Defensive Performances, and we wanted to check this out. Sale actually threw this out into the ether, you know what I mean? And I thought that this was like an excellent idea, not only to put a little shine on Dennis Rodman, the player, but it'll definitely give us a chance to talk about some other things that was happening with him. But before we get into it, I would like to ask for anybody who hasn't that they please subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure you hit the notification bell. That way you'll be reminded of future shows. And we're going to go ahead and dive right into this, and then we'll give our commentary as we go. So let's get it started.
Dennis Rodman. Unbelievable hustle play by Rodman. He just wants it a little bit more than everybody else right now.
That's what Dennis does. He does it better than anybody in the league.
Reggie Miller, 21-footer, no. Rebound Rodman. Great football feed, way up to Sally for the slam. Isaiah dishing in the lane to Rodman, behind the back dish to Woolridge for the dunk.
Look at that hustle by Rodman. Head first.
Dennis over the head, and count the slam and the foul. What a spectacular play, Dennis Rodman.
Rebound kept alive by Rodman, and Barkley deep in the left corner, and Rodman pulls it down.
Here goes the lucky jersey. Oh, he gets a great hair. He just flipped it out though.
Off to Barkley. Charles Barkley with the drive against the triple team. Blocked. Rodman blocked it out of bounds.
Now I'm gonna stop it for a second because just to talk about like the beginning stages, at least of his NBA career. I know that of course he started in Detroit, and he would make his presence felt, and get his name out there as a big time defender at that time. Kind of when I around the time when I first started really locking into watching basketball, it was really like the kind of the end of the Pistons and Boston rivalry, and that's when the Bulls Pistons rivalry started kind of taking shape. And Rodman was a guy who I looked at me as a younger dude. I tried to really model my game after Rodman and a little bit of Karl Malone, but really Rodman because he was this wiry power forward, you know what I mean, that was just like bouncing all over the place and defense all over the place, and he really didn't care about scoring too much. And me, I wasn't, when we would play basketball, I was never like a scorer really like that, but I picked up on how to play defense and modeled my defensive style after Rodman. You know what I mean? So I really had an affinity for him in those early days because of that. But anything you want to throw out there, Seth?
Nah, besides defensive player guide in my book, man. I'm with you. I ain't really start picking up on him until he was with Detroit. And I mean, winning defensive player of the year back to back in 90 and 91. It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I mean, he had like the height as far as like MJ, but his rebounding, in my personal opinion, reminds me of Bill Russell from back in the day. But
Yeah. No, that's a good point out, especially like given his size. Like at the time when I started watching,
I think he was like 200 plus.
Yeah, no, he was stacking up.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I said he was pretty solid.
No, he was a solid dude. You know what I mean? But it's still given like that time in the league, like most of the power forwards was still like they all of them was like super like cocky than a mug.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's how all of the so he looked more like a small forward
Yeah.
going up against these dudes who had these big, huge muscles. A lot of the times they was way taller than he was, you know what I mean, or a little bit taller. But I was marveling at the fact because I had never seen at that point a dude his size that was averaging like I believe one of them Detroit years he averaged like close to 19 rebounds.
Yeah, I know on average throughout his seasons was anywhere from 16 to at least 18 or 19 rebounds a game, which is crazy.
It's stupid for a dude his size. But
exactly. So he's one of the ones that figured out this is my role. Do it to the best of my abilities, even if I don't do nothing else, because we could both agree he was not a good shooter at all.
No,
He knew his role. Defense.
Yeah.
Defense, defense, defense.
Yeah. No.
And that's what made the Bulls so great when he got to him, man. Everybody had their key part. Everybody knew what role they had to play. Rodman, rebounds, and get into these other players' head, which he was very good at doing.
Oh, yeah.
So, but we'll get to that once this gets going.
Word. Let's keep it moving.
Ripped away by James Edwards. The Dumars way up to Rodman. Great catch, and he laid it in. Absolutely magnificent. And Rodman with his 9th rebound. Firing down. Scottie Pippen. John the Decken driving on McLeod to the hole. No. Tapped in on a slam, though, by Dennis Rodman.
Blocked by Dennis.
Ewing over and rejected by Dennis Rodman.
He'll shoot it. Hello, Dennis with 10 points. On to Vinny. Behind the back to Rodman for the dunk. That'll break the house down. Vinny Johnson off to Rodman and a foul. Boy, Rodman just soared over Neely.
Lambeer pulls it off. Dumars alley-oop to Rodman. Oh, my! Rodman rebounds. Lipton's looking to break it. Dennis at midcourt. The alley-oop.
Dude, I think that was a really underrated part of his game. Like he didn't get enough credit for like his passing abilities a little bit.
Yeah, I can agree to that.
Yeah, like he did just in this clip alone. Shit, he giving out some nice passes for somebody who for as great as he was at his one dimension, he was kind of just one dimensional, you know. And I think it's not because I don't think it was because he couldn't do other things, because he could actually, like, especially like in them early like in them Detroit days, he would score some points, you know, but they was hustle points.
Yeah, you know? I mean, for the time from him shooting, if I remember correctly, his efficient rate was like I think like 50, somewhere between 50 and 52%. I mean, he didn't shoot the ball that much, but when he did, he kind of made it count. Yeah. So his average was his percent rate was pretty decent, I guess, for a guy for his position. It was pretty decent, I guess.
Yeah. No, that's very.
That's good night. He'll get you about 10 points, somewhere between 10 and 12 points, give or take. Yeah. So I mean, for that position, that's not bad.
No,
especially with all the rebounds you get, I'll take that any day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, the defense and the rebound. I mean, especially like if they, I don't know if in this video they're gonna get to that point, but when in those San Antonio days, like it's kind of when he really like locked into like I'm playing defense and I'm rebounding and I'm not shooting the ball.
Yeah,
like he was forget about reluctant to shoot. Like he just refused. Like he could be right there under the basket and it's like he passing out because dude, all I want to do is rebound and play defense. That's what I do.
Yeah.
You know, so crazy.
Off to Rodman for 3. Hey, Dennis! And guess what we've got here?
Who did we say that? Sit your butt down.
And they take the ball away. Hornacek throws it right to Rodman, and Jordan is all alone, and he saunters in.
Now that's winning basketball. Those are the plays that Dennis Rodman does to make his team great.
Luke Longley. Coach.
Black with the ball. He's double deep to Perkins. A pump fake. Rodman blocks the shot.
Michael Adams got it swiped by Rodman as he dribbled across the timeline. Ahead to Sally. Back to Worm. He'll dunk.
What a fight, but Rodman securing the miss. Jumps it to Harper and gets the game. Rodman, 10,000 rebounds.
It's like they don't want to show the San Antonio Rodman at all. You know, I think I maybe saw him in the San Antonio jersey.
Well, I think for the simple reason, for the couple of years that he was there, man, it wasn't really on good terms either, though. I know he was talking a lot of shit about Pop, because I think Pop was vice president or something at the time for the Spurs before he became a head coach, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I know he was part of the main office for the Spurs at that time that Rodman was playing with them. And I remember later on down the road, he didn't have a lot of nice things to say about Pop. So,
no, I mean, I can imagine, you know, because Dennis just had a way about him, like he was going to do what he was going to do. And we know Popovich, you know, from what we know of him now, he's always had a very good way with the players on the team. You know what I mean? Like, and he said, and I'm not sure how it went left with Dennis Rodman, maybe because of that whole rebel nature and all that.
Mm-hmm.
You go ahead. I thought you had something you wanted to add in that, Sale. Oh, okay. Yeah, but no, I mean, I can see Pop getting turned off by like, and shout out to the Sirens, but I can see Pop having an issue with the colorful hair and all that, because that's really when Rodman really started doing that whole thing when he got to San Antonio.
But I figure it shouldn't be a problem if he's still being consistent and still efficient on the floor. But who am I to know? Who am I to say?
Yeah. And I think if maybe that same thing was happening now with the way Pop is now, he probably wouldn't have an issue with that at all at this point. You know what I mean? It's one of those things almost, at least in my mind, like if you haven't seen it before, then it has a chance to kind of rub you the wrong way or whatever, because you're used to what you used to. You know what I mean? But we can keep it going on.
Bulls a break chance. Rodman out on the floor, lays it in, got hit. What a play, Dennis Rodman. Chasing it, Scotty to the bucket with the up and under. It's no good, but Rodman, trailing the play, slams it home.
Nice catch. Dennis.
6 seconds, 5 on the drive.
That's what basketball is all about. People like to see stuff like that, little activity. That's the way it should be, you know. Don't contain it or something, just let them go. Let them be wild and free, baby.
As I said, let them be wild and free. Man, that was Dennis Rodman's lockdown defensive performances, ladies and gentlemen. And Dennis Rodman was a whole vibe. You know, like he was definitely a vibe. And more times than not, people love him. You know what I mean? He did have detractors, did have haters, but I think for the most part, like people respected the fact that even with all of the antics, that he was a lunch pail guy. You know what I mean? Like he came to work, he did his job, and that's pretty much what it is. But what you got to say about that, Sid?
Not even that. A lot. Oh. I hear an echo now. Shit, it's throwing me off.
No,
right.
I don't hear it on my end, so you do.
Another thing that folks don't talk about, he's another player that has 5+ rings as well. He got 3 with the Bulls, and then you got to think he got 2 with Detroit from back in '89 and '90.
Right.
With Isaiah and Dumars, that whole little core group as well. A lot of folks don't talk about his ring count, surprisingly. He's one of them few players that got 5+.
Yeah.
Don't hear much about it, to be honest, And then, I mean, honestly, everywhere he went, he's backbone of defense, pretty much, to put it in a nutshell. No matter what team he went to, backbone. When it comes to that, the intensity and that electricity on the defense side, Rodman is it. Like,
pretty much the gold standard. You know what I mean? If you will, if you talking anybody that ain't the center position, you know what I mean? Because the center has always been looked at as the anchor of the defense in a lot of respects. But yeah, Rodman, as far as like perimeter defense goes, and all that, like not just the perimeter defense, because that's one aspect, but Rodman has defended dudes like Shaq and all this before. You know what I mean? Somebody who he's given up like, 100 pounds to plus and however many inches, you know what I mean, that he's given up to some of these guys. But Rodman was somebody, like you said, he definitely brought intensity and all that. And every team that I could remember him on was a winner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he didn't win championships at every single stop, but they were contenders and playoff bound and all that stuff all the time when he was on the team.
And the only person I could see back then that was kind of even close to him as far as the hustle and just that intensity at the time was Ben Wallace. I used to call him the poor man's Dennis Rodman. If you really look at Ben Wallace's game and look at Rodman's game, he was like the closest in my opinion, but that's just me. Some folks may say otherwise, but
no, I think you hit it right on the head. Actually, I think you hit it right on the head. Like the closest thing that we may have seen to him, since is more than likely Ben Wallace. You know what I mean? Like, and I could think of some other like old school defensive players who really got it in, but when you talk about like basically kind of mimicking what Dennis Rodman had, even down to the energy aspect and all that. Like Ben Wallace is probably the closest facsimile, but Dennis, he was a winner, me and Sale, we was talking beforehand about, all of the wrestling matches and, of course the colorful hair,
wearing dresses, the tattoos, the piercings, like he's the blueprint.
Yeah.
They don't call him Dennis the Menace for nothing.
Right. This guy didn't care. Like he, I think one game during the finals when he was with the Bulls, man, Phil had to let him go and let him do his thing right before one of the games, or something like. Go ahead, take you a little break, whatever you need, but. This dude, man, he was a monster. And
didn't he also marry himself too? I remember being back at home. I think they broadcasted on WGN Channel 9.
Yes.
Like they actually was live recording. His mother was in a whole
Yeah, he married. He did. He married himself. Like
I remember just being a little kid. I'm like, what the fuck?
This dude was a nutball, dude, and like you, and thank goodness, like for coaches like who was in Detroit, he had Chuck Daly, who he respected Chuck a lot. He loved Chuck. He had a great affinity for Chuck. And later, I think kind of the same or near the same relationship with Phil Jackson, but you had to be very patient and understanding with this guy.
Now I'm sitting here thinking about it. This may sound so jacked up. That's why I really can't be a hypocrite for the most part to some of these new generation rappers, especially these motherfuckers that be running around in dresses and skirts and shit, because I automatically go back to Rodman. And Rodman was like the coolest, baddest motherfucker on the planet to me. So it's just like, if I could give him a pass, I can't give these other folks.
Yeah, no, but see, it wasn't so prevalent then. Like everywhere you look now, in today's world, you see a dude in a dress and looking all crazy or whatever. But
I mean, but Rodman did it. He had the full blown veil and everything. Like, bruh.
Yeah, no, he did that. You know what I mean? And I think that's what made it even more intriguing is the fact that nobody else was doing that but him.
Hell nah.
Nobody. It's like, where the hell did this come from?
Shit ain't normal.
Yeah. Like this dude, and when you spoke earlier with the mind games, dude, like one of the more standout times, dude, with that is when him and when the Bulls in Utah was going at it in the finals, and how he was getting up under Karl Malone, dude. It was just, oh my God, dude. And Malone had always been known as a steady dude. Like, you wasn't gonna get up under his skin, and like that was the first time I seen. And I was a mailman, dude. I used to love Karl Malone, and it was like I never seen this dude unravel the way he was when Dennis Rodman would play against him.
He would do certain shit. Either he'll talk shit or he'll pull at your trunks and shit. Like, there's certain shit that he knew he could get away with that'll fuck with folks' heads. That's nothing I like to his defense IQ, man. Like, his IQ was pretty high on the defense side.
Oh man, his basketball IQ was amazingly high. So he wasn't just like some dog just running rampant off the leash. Like there was a purpose. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
a method to his madness, if you will. So. No, he was great. He was great. And, I don't know how many people out there in the world are really giving Dennis his real kudos for everything that he brought to the game. But I know we know as people who have saw him come up, and especially like during those Bulls years, like Chicago fans like really like fell in love with this dude.
Going to the few games at the United Center, seeing them play in person and shit, like,
they fell in love with this dude. And that's amazing, given that this is the same guy that Chicago, when he was with Detroit, they hated Dennis Rodman. They hated Dennis. Dennis Rodman is the dude that gave Scottie Pippen the stitches.
Because he was with the bad boys of Detroit. We didn't like the motherfuckers.
Like dude, they actually before the Bulls signed him, he had to write an apology letter to the city that they published in the newspaper. They published it in the newspaper, like dude, he had to apologize to the city, not just the Bulls. Like, this was a letter to everybody. Like, hey, I'm sorry. I know I was kicking, niggas' ass over there. You know what I mean? It was what it was. I'm with y'all now. You know what I mean? So
he definitely became beloved. He definitely became beloved for Chicago.
Yeah. No, he definitely did that. But me and Sale, man, we could do this all day, but we got to get up out of here. Before we do that, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the share button. hit the playlist option. You'll actually pick the one named basketball highlights is what I call. I should have named their reactions, but same deal. But that's where you'll end up finding this particular video. So make sure you check for this and that. I do have playlists for other things. In those basketball highlights, there's more reactions to basketball stuff. We got some other stuff, entertainment. We'll talk about some stuff like that every now and again. Mostly it's music, but make sure that you just go through the list. And, if you've been following the page and if you are a supporter, I do need, for everybody to, even if you're not the hugest fan or whatever, say a video, just to get this stuff pushed out into the algorithm, that much more, would be great. And I need y'all support with that. But the Cash App and the PayPal information for those who want to show their support to the page or appreciation for the work that we do on the page, you'll find that stuff under the description on my homepage. So that's pretty much that. Anything you want to throw out there before we get up out of here?
Pretty much, my man Roscoe pretty much laid everything down. The only thing I would add on, so all my sports junkies out there, male or female, man. I mean, if you want to add on to what we talked about, please do in the comments. If you got a recommendation for other players we should check out, let us know. I'm somewhat okay and somewhat knowledgeable on sports on pretty much all ends for the most part. Certain stuff I'm not. So if it comes to like golf and tennis and hockey, I might be a little off. But if it comes to the trifecta, basketball, football, baseball, then I'm your guy.
Right. Same here. Same here. So don't nobody come out of left field talk about what Jack Nicholson reaction, Jack Nicholas or whatever his name was. Like, no, don't come with Arnold Palmer. You know what I mean? Don't do that. You know what I mean? Not even Tiger. You know what I mean? Like we just ain't watching golf like that. We'll tell you that Tiger was dope. You know what I mean?
I know a little bit. Hockey, a little bit, especially through the Blackhawks run. Know a little bit, but that's my home team. A little bit. Anything outside of that, I'm
So keep it within the trifecta. Please. Me and Sale, we go. Oh, also, yesterday was my man Sale's birthday. So make sure you jump in the comments and at least give him a birthday shout out or a belated, whatever. We got to show love to my man. I got a huge amount of love and respect and affinity for this guy. And I can't wait till we blow this thing up. So we'll be able to, not just with Sale, but to get all of our guys included, because we got a crew. You know what I mean? Niggas just busy. That's all it is. You know what I mean? Like there is a crew. You know what I mean? But life and this thing. So yeah. We will be back again. Like Sale said, for anybody who has any more recommendations for anything, that's what we here for. So we're gonna get up out of here. We will see you guys again very soon. So until next we meet, ladies and gents, you guys be safe and be good.